Sagittarius, wild heart of the horizon, you are standing on the precipice of a great expansion you have been seeking in the furthest reaches of your spirit. And this is not just a fleeting spark of hope. It is a sacred fire of truth rising to illuminate your path, the kind that reshapes your entire world. This is not a passing impulse, a distant dream, or a freedom you're afraid to claim. This is a promise being forged in the rhythm of your own adventurous soul. A lifetime of searching for meaning flowing back to you with profound clarity and nothing standing in its way. If you have found yourself here, it was no accident, no random scroll in a moment of restlessness. Something ancient and knowing within you, a flash of insight from your inner philosopher, a subtle pull from Jupiter itself, led you directly to this space. And maybe you felt it too, like the electric stillness before a thunderstorm, a deep hum of anticipation beneath the surface of your days. You can't quite name it, but you've sensed a profound shift in the winds of fortune. And you are right to feel it. Because beyond the edge of your known world, something powerful has been aligning, bold and certain, like a star charting its course in the dark. A divine alignment is finally leaning in Sagittarius's favor, where wisdom meets true opportunity. This isn't small. This shift honors every time you chose truth over comfort, sought a higher perspective when others settled for the mundane, held on to faith when the journey felt endless. Every leap of faith was seen. You were not overlooked. You were being aimed toward destiny. And now the cycle turns toward you with a guiding hand. There is a doorway opening before you now. You won't see it with your eyes, but your spirit recognizes the feeling of it. You are on the verge of a profound spiritual and intellectual awakening. And in this message, we will trace how opportunity, love, and your own inner wisdom are aligning to create a future that can no longer be contained. So breathe deep. This space we have entered together was not built for confinement. It was made for expansion. You are free here, free to be bold, free to let this in. Let me ask you something, Sagittarius. Have you been waiting for that unmistakable feeling of purpose? Something real, something true that tells you all your restless searching and nights spent wondering about the bigger picture were not in vain? Then stay close, because what is unfolding here today is not just another message. It is a revelation of your highest path, and it just might change how you see every risk you have ever taken. Take a moment to ground your adventurous energy by commenting below. You might write, "I am ready for my great adventure," or share a number that has been following you. Perhaps 3, 9, 5, or even 1,111. When you write it, you are not just typing. You are anchoring an intention. You are aiming your arrow into the heart of your own alignment. And before we step deeper, let me speak this with my whole soul. Thank you. Thank you for arriving. Thank you for listening, for your likes, your shares, every expansive action that helps shape this into a launching pad for seekers like you, the explorers, the philosophers, the dreamers. Your presence is part of this unfolding. And what you are about to receive is not here to entertain, it is here to validate. It is the universe roaring back to you. I have not forgotten your quest. Now let me show you the way. So Sagittarius, what has been moving through your heart, your spirit that brought you here today? Because by the time this message has run its course, you will feel it. That reason calling you toward your true north. Sagittarius, there is something deeply sacred in the restless journey you have undertaken. The optimism offered when no one else saw a reason for hope. The silent questions whispered to the stars. The expansive moments of wisdom you shared from your heart, never knowing if that truth would ever find fertile ground. But the universe, unlike the small and cynical world, moves like an arrow in flight. It follows the trajectory of your spirit, not the pull of doubt. And for you, that trajectory has always been guided by truth, boundless optimism, and a longing for things to feel expansive and free again. The nature of your sign, Sagittarius, isn't just about travel or philosophy. It's about a deep, unwavering faith, a trust in the unseen synchronicities that connect all things. Yes, Jupiter rules you, but so does the unseen law of expansive return. When you stayed optimistic instead of becoming cynical, when you offered truth even when it was difficult, when you created a wider perspective for someone else instead of letting them stay small, those choices did not dissolve into thin air. They were written down in a cosmic record that lives far beyond what the eye can see, not recorded in ink but held in starlight and wisdom. And that light is now circling back to you as sacred opportunity. This is not a simple reward. It is not a transaction. It is divine timing guided by something ancient and wise, like the slow, steady expansion of the cosmos. The way clarity happens in a flash of insight, and one day, without warning, the feeling of purpose simply arrives. And in your case, Sagittarius, that purpose is arriving now. You are entering your season of expansion not by force, but by joyful surrender. Not because you tried to control people or outcomes, but because you remained anchored in faith even when it felt like no one noticed. That strength, the kind that seeks and explores, that is what your soul was building. And in the silence, grace was doing its most intricate work. You were not lost, you were being prepared. And now the same universe that once felt so vast and random is beginning to conspire in your direction, speaking in the language of synchronicity. Sometimes divine timing holds us in a place of spiritual waiting longer than we think we can bear. But those delays become our wisdom, and the questions become our depth. Once you have navigated those landscapes, Sagittarius, you turn around and see that every wrong turn was a lesson. Every detour was for discovery. Even the most aimless moments were quietly charting the map to your true inner purpose. It is a pattern we see in the oldest stories, that blessings do not always come when we demand them, but when we create space. That posture of open horizons and a trusting heart makes room for miracles to suddenly appear. It is like planting a seed in a vast field, trusting the sun will find it. You do not demand the seed grow. You tend to the soil with quiet knowing. That is what you have done, Sagittarius. And the brilliant sun is here. So as you stand at the edge of this great turning point, I hope you can feel the role you have played in calling this in. You are not just a passive receiver of fate. You helped shape this moment. And what is returning to you is not just material. It is a deep, unshakable feeling that you stayed true to your quest. That is a wealth that can never be taken away. If these words reach something adventurous within you, if you have ever felt lost or misunderstood but still chose faith, then claim this truth: I have searched in faith. Now I am ready to be guided by purpose. Because this Sagittarius is your season, and you did not wander into it by accident. You arrived here with grace. Sometimes the biggest breakthroughs do not arrive with a whisper. They arrive like a flash of lightning, suddenly illuminating everything. Sagittarius, this is exactly how the energy around your opportunities and life path is beginning to shift. There is a current of momentum now, a rhythm that is starting to accelerate. Possibilities and pathways that once felt like distant dreams are suddenly appearing on your horizon. And those chances for growth you thought had passed you by are finding their way back. Not by luck, but by something deeper, a cosmic design that has always known how to bring you what you need to feel free. From an astrological view, when Jupiter, your planet of expansion, or the sun, a source of vitality, touches your 9th house of wisdom or 10th house of purpose, it is as if the gates to your grandest destiny finally swing open. A destiny once sealed by past limitations or a fear of aiming too high. These houses do not just speak to career, they hold the story of how you expand, how free you feel, allowing the universe to support your vision. And the truth is, many Sagittarius souls have spent years toning down their dreams to fit into smaller spaces, not realizing how much they were resisting the very expansion they craved. But that is changing now. Imagine a vast open road under a sky full of stars. That feeling of boundless possibility is what's becoming available to you. What you are sensing is not just a new beginning, but the return of a long overdue sense of alignment. In daily life, this could look like an offer to travel, a chance to go back to school for something you love, a creative project, getting a green light, or a new career path opening up that aligns perfectly with your beliefs. Even so, this moment calls for your joyful presence. Just because the path is clearing does not mean you should stop fueling your own fire. This is your time to lean into what truly makes you feel alive. Clear out old beliefs that limit you, create a vision board or a journal for your dreams, and tend to your spirit as if it were a sacred flame. The more expansive your inner world feels, the more opportunity it will attract. Call your destiny in with excitement. Create a vision not just of accomplishments, but of the feeling those achievements create. Is it freedom to explore? The ability to inspire others? A life that is a true expression of your soul? The clearer you are on the feeling, the faster the universe knows how to respond. And as you do this, do not forget your body. If feeling stuck has been held in your energy, moving it can shift everything. Go for a run dance in your living room. Spend time in nature. These are not distractions. They are keys. A vibrant nervous system draws opportunity in. Stagnation pushes it away. Perhaps you were never taught that it is okay to want a big, adventurous life, or that your success does not take from anyone else. But Sagittarius, your expansion blesses more than just you. When you are on your path, you become a beacon that illuminates the way for everyone you touch. Remember this, in many spiritual traditions, opportunity is a form of grace. Not all miracles look like quiet whispers. Some look like a plane ticket. Some look like the perfect mentor appearing. And some come as the deep, exhilarating inhale of finally living your truth. So if you have been waiting, searching, and hoping, take this as confirmation. You are not imagining what you feel. You are tuning in because the shift has already begun. If there is a vision of expansion that has been held in your heart, a country to visit, a book, to write, a truth to teach, write it in the comments. Put it into words. Claim it with your adventurous heart. That simple act could be the very arrow that hits the target that has been waiting for you. This is your time to receive not just chances, but the profound joy of finally being on your path. And it is beautiful how love works in much the same way. Not by trying to capture it, but by creating an adventure for it to join. Sagittarius, love is meeting you on your path. But this time it is not a distraction, not a drama you have to escape. It is more expansive now, more mature, more like a fellow traveler. It is love that does not need you to be smaller because it is inspired by your greatness. It reflects the version of you that has healed, that has learned to give yourself freedom first. After guiding so many through the landscapes of connection, I can tell you the energy moving through your sign now is unlike anything before. In tarot, when the Wheel of Fortune, your card of destiny and expansion, is paired with the sun, it speaks to a partnership that is not just a passionate connection, but a true, joyful journey. Two souls moving in the same expansive direction. This is not a fleeting romance. It is two people arriving as adventure partners for each other, ready to build a life together with optimism and trust. You may be feeling this already. Perhaps a connection is deepening with a profound sense of excitement. Or maybe someone new is showing up not with demands, but with curiosity, with laughter. And if you are single, this message is especially for you. You are not waiting for love to find you. You are preparing for a love that meets you on your own exciting path. Because when your energy settles into its own truth, Sagittarius, you stop calling in partners who mirror your old need for escape and begin to draw in those who resonate with your free spirit. Numerology reflects this as well. The number 3, a symbol of creativity and joy, paired with the number 9, which carries the frequency of wisdom, completion, and worldly experience, signals that the love entering your field now is not only emotionally thrilling, but divinely guided. You did not stumble here. You grew into this space with joyful strength. But true love asks for more than readiness. It asks for inner clarity. So if you are currently sharing your life with someone, this is your moment to take an honest inventory. Does this connection feel like an open road or a cage? Does it bring more expansion than limitation? When love becomes inspiring instead of draining, that is when you know a new timeline has begun. The colors in your energetic field right now, brilliant gold and royal purple, carry meaning. These are the hues of Jupiter, of wisdom and divine masculine energy. Surrounding yourself with them can help energize your system and remind your spirit that love does not have to feel like a compromise. In fact, the truest love rarely ever does. There is a truth often shared in spiritual guidance. The kind of love you are asking for will not arrive until there is room for it to be free. That means releasing what once felt familiar, but was never truly expansive. The need to run the habit of choosing partners who weren't on your level, the fear that commitment meant losing yourself. but you are not that version of yourself anymore. The one who settled for passion without a shared vision. And because of that, you are now ready for something whole. Whether partnered or not, your heart is opening, not out of need, but out of readiness. And your love life is preparing to mirror the grand adventure you have spent years building within. Take a breath and tune in. Can you feel a love catching up to you, or perhaps a new one moving onto your path? Write it in the comments. Love is joining me on my great adventure, because when you speak it, you claim it. And when you claim it, it begins to move toward your horizon. And what often happens, perhaps even now, is that once opportunity flows and love expands, the soul finally has space to speak its highest truth. Not because your spirit was ever silent, but because the noise of doubt has quieted just enough for you to hear. Sagittarius, this next phase of your becoming is not about searching, it is about knowing. You might begin to notice signs in bold, synchronous ways. The same word or idea appearing 3 times in a day, repeating numbers like 333 or 999, or the flash of insight that is 1111. Dreams that feel more like cosmic downloads or blueprints for your future. A sudden urge to go somewhere that turns out to be profoundly important. These are not random. They are signals that your channel to higher wisdom is clearing, becoming more potent. Because when the spirit stops searching restlessly, when the heart stops running from commitment, your inner wisdom, your greatest gift, begins to flourish. Spiritual awakening does not always arrive like a gentle tide. For you, Sagittarius, it arrives like a flash of lightning. It is the courage to speak a radical truth with love. It is walking away from a limiting situation without needing to apologize. It is trusting a grand vision even when it defies all logic. That is the essence of your wisdom, a voice not of thought but of deep cosmic knowing. In energy work, we often say this is the moment your soul starts to teach. You stop making choices from a place of what-ifs or obligation. You begin making them based on what feels true, what feels expansive, what powerfully resonates in your core. And that kind of guidance rarely leads you astray, especially when you allow it to move at its own thrilling pace. There is something so human about wanting to be guided, to know we are not navigating this great quest alone. And while I will not link this to any one belief, I can tell you this across every story I have heard: the moment someone surrenders, truly asks for guidance from their highest self, something shifts. Sometimes it is as simple as feeling a nudge to buy a book that changes your life. Sometimes it is a thought that comes from nowhere and changes the course of your day. These are not fantasies. These are moments of grace. And the more you trust them, the more they begin to appear. So if you feel this shift unfolding within, you honor it. Do not dismiss your grand ideas. They are your superpower. Begin your day with 5 quiet minutes, maybe looking at the sky or holding a map. You do not need a perfect ritual, just a breath, a pause, a simple invitation. Show me the way. Keep a notebook by your bed and write down your big ideas. Over time, the grand design will begin to reveal itself. And if your space feels stagnant, open a window and let the air move. Play uplifting music. Let the energy soar again. Your surroundings are always reflecting your inner world. And Sagittarius, your wisdom is not some far-off mystic gift. It is your original compass. The more you listen, the more clearly it speaks. So if you are here now nodding along because your life is already starting to shift in these exact ways, speak it out loud or write it in the comments. I trust the wisdom within me. Because the truth is, the answers were never hiding. They have only been waiting for the adventure, for the space where you could finally hear them. You might not have seen it clearly before, but every detour, every question, every moment of waiting was part of a larger pattern unfolding. One that did not come to limit, it came to prepare. Sagittarius, you have been like an arrow drawn back in a bow of past doubts and restrictions. Each failed plan, each disappointment, every season of feeling lost, all of it built up tension. But now that bow is ready to be released. The tension is shifting. This is your launch point, and what is arriving next moves with purpose, truth, and a powerful, expansive force. When we talk about unstoppable energy, we are not talking about aggression. For you, it is the unstoppable force of an arrow finding its true target. It is the momentum that forms after years of doing the inner work of healing, of learning to trust your own vision. You may not have always known where the path was leading, but you kept your heart open. You stayed optimistic. You stayed true. And in doing so, you reshaped your own frequency. You stopped leading from a place of uncertainty and started moving from a place of deep inner knowing. That is what the law of attraction truly answers to. Not forced positivity, but true, authentic alignment. And right now, you are aligning with a current that matches your readiness for freedom. The very things you once felt limited by are now being gently dissolved. The energy around you is expansive, visionary, and incredibly magnetic. Not because you demanded it, but because you became it. Even in day-to-day life, think of how much changes when you stop worrying about the destination. Decisions feel clearer. The right people show up. Support appears before you even ask for it. That is what it feels like when your own energy stops resisting and starts to fly. And while the world around you may take a moment to catch up, your inner compass already knows the way home. The road ahead is open because you have made peace with the landscapes you have traveled. In spiritual coaching, there is a truth we return to. Often what you think is holding you back is actually deepening your well of wisdom. I have seen that time and again in people who endured confinement only to emerge with a capacity for freedom that changed the world around them. It did not make sense then, but later the pattern always becomes clear. This Sagittarius is where hindsight becomes insight. The moment when all the aimless wandering makes way for a clear and undeniable purpose. And it does not matter how many times things felt stuck before, because this is a different moment. You have changed. Your energy has changed. And that means the outcomes will too. So if you have been feeling that deep hum beneath the surface, that stirring in your heart like something is about to take flight, trust it. That is not wishful thinking. That is recognition. You are not a prisoner of your past limitations. You are the creator of your future freedom. No old version of you, no past failure, no fear can block what is already in motion. Say this aloud. If it lands in your spirit, I am no longer hesitating. I am ready to fly. And when you write it below, let it be a vow not just to the universe, but to the most expansive, truthful part of yourself. Because readiness is not just an idea, it is a frequency, and you are already living in it. Sagittarius, if you have stayed with me this far, it is not just because you were curious. It is because something bold and sacred inside of you recognized the truth. You were not just hearing words, you were listening with your entire being, and in that moment you aligned with a vibration that only the truly ready can feel. You are not the same version of yourself who pressed play at the beginning. Not because of anything I said, but because something inside you finally found its direction. You have walked through valleys of doubt that tried to ground you. You have carried the limited beliefs of others like weights on your shoulders. You have taken risks in silence. And still you chose to believe in the journey. Still you chose to aim higher. That choice, bold, stubborn, and consistent, has made you powerful beyond measure. That quiet loyalty to your own truth has formed a version of you that is no longer just searching. You are finally ready to thrive from a place of deep purpose. Opportunity is arriving not to impress, but because you finally understand your worthiness to live a big life. Love is approaching not as an anchor, but as a co-pilot for your greatest adventure. And your wisdom is deepening not to confuse, but to be your steady guiding star. None of this is a coincidence. These are the fruits of your devotion to your own truth. But beyond what is coming to you, the real treasure is who you have become on the way here, more wise, more aligned, more open and alive in your own grand timing. So take a moment to ask yourself, what do I need to release to fully step into this next chapter? What old doubt, what fear of the unknown, what outdated map is asking to be let go? So the opportunity, love, and clarity waiting for you can finally take flight. Can you feel it in your bones? That bold voice that says, now. You are free now. You do not need to see the full map. Just take the next true step, even if it is a leap of faith. Maybe that means booking the ticket. Maybe it is reaching out to the person whose vision inspires you. Or maybe it is simply closing your eyes after this message and whispering, Yes, I am ready. And if that resonates, say it aloud or type it into the comments right now. I am ready to receive everything that feels like freedom. That declaration is not just poetic, it is magnetic. It tells the universe I am no longer bracing for disappointment. I am opening myself to my destiny. And if this message echoed in your heart, I invite you to support this sacred space we have shared. Like this video, subscribe, and send it to another Sagittarius who may need this powerful reminder that their great adventure has come. Every word you write, every action you take, sends a ripple of inspiration far beyond what we see here. And I am deeply, humbly thankful for your presence. Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for trusting yourself. And thank you for allowing this space to hold a small part of your journey today. Because Sagittarius, this is not your ending. It is the moment the arrow finally hits its mark, revealing a world of treasures on your horizon. So tell me, adventurous soul, what part of this message felt like it was speaking just to you? What new feeling of purpose are you ready to walk with? The door to your grandest life is open, and your name is already written on the other side. So will you walk through it?